Welcome back, beautiful souls. So grateful to have you here today. Another solo episode, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys. I mean, I always am, let's be honest. But in today's episode, I want to introduce you guys to the concept of the word of the year. If you haven't heard of this is a new concept to you. Welcome. I was introduced to this concept 2 years ago, or maybe three now. I honestly can't remember. But ever since then, I've really ran with it because it's become just so apparent in my life. So I'm going to introduce you to my 2026 word of the year, and I'm going to explain its like deep spiritual meaning with you and the significance of this in my life. And then I really want to invite you guys to understand how a word of the year is not chosen. It's actually received as divine guidance for your journey ahead. So it's not something that you get to come up with. It's actually given to you by a higher power. It's powerful. So welcome. If you're new here, my name is Stephanie Dingbaum, and I am a mental health therapist and a mindset and manifestation coach and everything woo-woo. Intuitive, channeler, energy healer, all the things. As I am recording this, it's 12/12, mid-December. However, if you are listening to this on the day that it airs, it is the first Tuesday of the new year and my first episode of the new year as well. Wow, that feels powerful to say that. We're already 6 days in. It's my first episode of the new year. Wow. So it seems fitting to talk about word of the year because we just started a new year and we have this fresh new slate for the year, which I love fresh new slate. I love newness. It's why I love vision board making. Like you have this fresh, clean vision board and you have to fill it with all these ideas, all these visions. It's super exciting. And so every year, I don't choose a word, but I receive a word. And this year, the word that came through for me is alchemy. Not a super common word, like not a word that you hear in everyday conversation. And when I tell you this word is about to change everything, like I mean it. This word, and even like how it came to me, it just changed everything. So I want to share how this word found me, first of all. And then after that, I want to share what it means on more of a spiritual level and why it feels so aligned with where I'm going in my life and where I'm at right now and all the things just feels so aligned. And again, this isn't just about finding and picking a motivational word and slapping it on a vision board and saying, oh, this is my word of the year. It's not what it's about. This is about receiving that divine guidance for your year ahead and then literally just letting it lead you and practicing aligned action along the way and just completely surrendering to what comes your way. Okay, so first and foremost, before I explain alchemy, what is a word of the year and why does this matter? A word of the year, again, it's not something you brainstorm or force. It's something that is given to you by a higher power. It comes through, sometimes through meditation, sometimes through prayer, sometimes through journaling, or sometimes just through like a quiet knowing. If you are, what is it, claircognizant, I think is the right word. I sometimes get the different clairsenses confused. But if you're, I think it's claircognizant. If I'm wrong, forgive me. But if you're claircognizant, I always just like envision like a funnel above our head and like things just get dropped in that funnel. And we don't know how we know something, but we just know it. That's what happened for me with my word of the year. So sometimes it's just that like quiet knowing. It just feels right, feels aligned. It literally drops in when you're open to receiving it and when you're paying attention and listening for it. So why is this important? Well, your word of the year literally becomes your anchor for that year. It becomes your compass. It becomes your filter for decisions. It keeps you aligned when life gets chaotic or unclear. It's a reminder from God, source, universe, whatever language resonates with you. It becomes a reminder from that higher power of what you're being called toward this year. So, for example, my word of the year for 2024 was given to me literally on my drive to a vision board workshop that my friend Hillary Knob hosts every year. And the word was soul aligned. And initially I was like, oh, that just feels so cheesy. Seriously, is that going to be it? That's going to be my word of the year? I was wanting something more exciting. Just seemed so cheesy at the time. And I was like really resistant to it. I just kept driving and that word just kept like getting stronger and stronger in my head. And I was like, fine, fine. Like, I'll surrender. That can be my word of the year, whatever. I cannot explain to you guys enough the amount of times that word came up for me this year in relationships, in decisions I was making, in my business. Like, I did not say yes to something in 2025 unless it felt soul aligned. Like, that became how I made decisions. Best thing I ever did, honestly. Best thing I ever did. And if you listen back on the podcast, I feel like I use the word soul aligned a lot. Same with my content on social media. You see that word a lot over the last year. And yeah, I didn't look for it. It was given to me. It dropped into my head through that funnel. So I really invite you, if you don't have a word yet, which is fine, you don't need to start the year with a word. Give it a month. See what God, source, universe gives to you. Literally what I did is the week before Thanksgiving, I just said, Spirit, I am open to receiving my word of the year for 2026, the word that's going to lead me in the new year. I just ask that you plant it in my path so that I don't miss it. Give it to me through signs and synchronicities. Make sure my ears are on and I'm open to hearing it. And let me tell you, that is exactly what happened. That is exactly how I found my word. It was so wild after that. Like, for weeks throughout the month after that, I was hearing it left and right, seeing it everywhere. Not like, I don't know, it was so bizarre. Like, every time I saw it, it was like this inner knowing of like, that's it, that's your word. So bizarre. Like, it's just weird stuff. And it's spirit working in my life, but it still like blows my mind, you know? So if you don't have a word yet, don't force it. Okay. Just get quiet, do what I did, ask, and then just listen. It'll come. I promise you it will come. Okay, so I want to share with you guys how my word found me. I just kind of gave you like a brief introduction as to like how I asked for my word, but how alchemy came to me is literally in like the most random podcast episodes, that word would be used. And I'd be like, oh, that's crazy that I heard that word again. Like, it's not a super common word. So I don't feel like you hear it a lot in like regular conversation. Like, I don't use it. It is not a word I've ever used in conversation. I mean, it's just not. So I would hear it in podcasts randomly, like a couple episodes here and there. It just happened to be like one day, it just happened to be the episode I listened to. And then there was another time it popped up in my Instagram somewhere. And I was like, oh, there it is again. And then I was on the phone with someone one day and they said it. And I was literally in my head like, I don't know if you've ever said that word to me before. And then I was in a therapy session one day with a teenage client, like middle school age. And we were talking about school and things about school. And then randomly she used that word. I think she either said alchemy or alchemized or something. And it like stopped me. And I was like, do you even know what that means? I wasn't like condescending, but I was like, do you know what that word means? Because I was like doubting. She used it correctly though. But I was like, this is not a random word for like a middle schooler to use, you know? So I asked her that and she was like, yeah, we just learned about it in chemistry class. And that to me was weird too. I was like, you did? She just like looked at me weird. Like, why is it such a big deal that I use this word? I just had to laugh it off. But I was like, it's just so random. Don't think she understood why it was such a big deal to me. It's so random though. This was after a couple of weeks of already hearing this word. So I was like, oh my gosh, this word keeps coming up in conversation and things I'm hearing and reading. What the heck? And in that moment, in that session, like it felt like truth. It was like, this is the word for you, Steph. This is what your word of the year is going to be. And then I don't know if it was later that night or the next day, but I had this group message with a couple girlfriends that I met at Powerhouse Women, actually. It's how we stay in touch. And I was telling them I didn't mention what the word is. I just said, I think I know what my word of the year is, but I didn't tell them what it was yet. And I was like, do you want to know how I think this is my word? So I was telling them how it was like different instances of how it was showing up in my life, where I heard it, when, what I was doing, things like that. And then I told a story about how it came up in a therapy session. I didn't disclose any personal information. I just said like with a general client, you know, and I was like, it was so crazy. This client just said like they were learning about it in school. I think I said chemistry class or whatever. And then before I even had a chance to say what the word was, my friend Ashley, who was a part of this thread, was like, or no, then in a separate voice memo, I said what the word was. I said the words alchemy. And then my friend Ashley was like, oh my gosh, before you said that word, I literally in my head was like, I know what the word is. It's alchemy. And I was like, when I listened to her say that, I was like, how the hell did you know that? What? That's not a common word. How did you know that? And she's like, I don't know. I just knew. You said chemistry and I just knew. Plus, it's a witchy word. It's like, what? And that was even more confirmation. Like, yeah, this is your word stuff. Like, this is it. Keeps getting repeated. That's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, you guys. It just kept getting dropped into my life. And every time it just felt right, like an inner knowing, like it just felt right. It was like a whole body yes. And I just kept trusting the process and it just kept coming up. And I didn't overthink it. I didn't question it. You just know. It's just like an intuitive knowing. That's how it worked for me. So that's how I decided my word of the year is alchemy. Okay. It just feels right. So I want to explain what that word means in case it's not common to you, because I was, however old I was, 34 when I learned what that word means? I don't think it's a super common word. Maybe I'm a slow learner, but whatever. So the dictionary definition, alchemy is the medieval practice of turning base metals like lead into gold. It's transformation, transmutation, it's magic. I want to do a quick shout out to my friend Ashley, my witchy friend Ashley. She's the host of Big Crystal Energy podcast, if you don't know that. She literally says that I am the witchiest non-witch that she's ever met. I know I was a witch in a past life, so that's fine. I was a healer in a past life. I know that. But when I first told her that this was going to be my word of the year, she said, that's a very witchy, magical word, Stephanie. So you're really going to hone in on your witchy self, your witchy side of you. And I'm like, sure, yeah, maybe, Ashley. I trust her. She knows things. She's intuitive. She's probably right. So there's also a common understanding. So alchemy is taking something ordinary and making it extraordinary. It's turning struggle into strength, turning pain into power, turning the raw materials of your life into something valuable, beautiful, and sacred. These different definitions like get me so excited. Like that's what my year is going to look like. Like that's so powerful. Oh my gosh, I'm here for it. Let's go. So again, 2025 was a year of shedding. If you didn't listen to my previous solo episode about the year of the snake and numerology, go back and listen to it so that you understand what I'm saying. 2025 was a year of shedding, of releasing, of clearing. It was a year 9 in numerology, year of the snake. 2026 is about taking everything you learned, everything you experienced, alchemizing it into something golden. I am so here for this, you guys. Wow. I literally cannot believe how this word fits so perfectly into my new year already. I already can see it, how it's going to play out. There's a lot of unknowns, obviously, but I just can see how it's going to be big for me. It's going to be a big year. I'm not leaving 2025 behind. I'm transforming what I shed in 2025. I'm using it as fuel for what's next to come. It's going to be something beautiful and something sacred and valuable and powerful and strong and extraordinary. And I'm so here for it. I'm so freaking excited. I'm so excited. Can you tell? I'm trying to be calm about it, but inside I'm like, this is so awesome. Okay. There's also more of a spiritual, magical meaning for alchemy. I would say this is more of a deeper esoteric meaning of the word alchemy. It's not just about external transformation. It's also about that inner transformation, that spiritual evolution, that soul level growth. I mentioned coming out of the spiritual closet. Yeah, that's the spiritual evolution. That's the alchemy that's happening. Okay. True alchemy is about transmuting your internal state, those thoughts, those beliefs, your energy, your frequency, transmuting all of that internally. And then as a result of that, your external reality shifts in a big way. Yeah, it's coming. It's happening. I feel it. I'm here for it. So it's literally the process of turning fear into love, lack into abundance, wounds into wisdom, and your pain into purpose. Fuck yes. Let's go. This is going to be a really powerful year for me. I'm telling you. Other more deeper esoteric ways of looking at alchemy is, if you were to say you are the alchemist, if you've heard people say oh, he's the alchemist in his field. Your life is the laboratory. Every experience, whether it be good or bad, is raw material. And you get to decide what you're going to create with it. What's the gold version of it going to look like? That is powerful. And really, alchemy is about, stepping into your power as a creator as well. You're not a victim to your circumstances. You are the one who transforms those circumstances into something beautiful and golden. And it's really sacred work, alchemy is, because true alchemy requires going inward. It requires facing your shadow. the mess, the parts of yourself that you've maybe avoided. And then through intention, energy, and alignment, you're going to turn it into gold. That's a pretty beautiful process, if you ask me. So I just have a feeling this is going to be a very powerful and spiritual year for me in a really big way. So stay tuned for that. Pay attention, watch my stories. Let's see what happens. Let's support each other through these journeys, shall we? Seriously. I really I cannot wait to see how this unfolds for me and for you with whatever your word is, which, by the way, I would love to hear. DM me. Okay, I really want to connect this word to where I'm at right now, personally, spiritually, and professionally. So, where I'm at in my life right now, after the shedding of 2025, I'm definitely in this rebirth phase. Okay? I've released so much in the last year, and now I get to create with what's left, which is super exciting. I am creating a group coaching program. I'm creating some new things with the podcast. I'm creating and evolving my one on one coaching program. My private practice is evolving and a lot of creating is happening, a lot. So I'm not starting from scratch with any of it, but my wisdom maybe is new, maybe newer experiences, more clarity. And that's when I say the raw material of alchemy, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily starting from afresh, but I'm learning from those old experiences, creating gold from them, getting clarity from them. And then there's definitely this spiritual growth that I'm experiencing or that I have experienced. I'm really diving deeper into my intuition. I'm really honing in on that more. I'm incorporating it into all of my businesses, my private practice and my coaching business. I'm really owning my spiritual practices. I'm admitting I'm a channeler. I'm really honing in on that. It all feels very aligned. It feels right. And I'm learning to trust myself in ways that maybe I didn't before, because maybe I doubted or maybe I was worried what others would think. And I'm really learning going into this new year that I'm leading from a place of power and I'm no longer dimming my light, which I feel like I gave myself permission last year to not dim my light, but I'm really though, I'm not going to dim my light anymore. Okay. Because alchemy is about becoming, and that's what I'm doing. I'm here to become. So I'm really going to own that. And the transformation that I'm calling in, you guys. So, what am I alchemizing this year? Is the question I answered. Old wounds are healing. I jumped back into therapy at the end of 2025. Some old wounds are really coming back up for me because of some things that were happening in my family. And I'm digging them up, but I'm healing them at the same time through hypnotherapy again. Um, I'm also alchemizing past struggles into wisdom that I can share, that I'll be sharing here on the podcast with you guys and also in my coaching. I am alchemizing any fear that I'm still carrying into courage. I'm alchemizing any scarcity that I'm carrying into abundance. A lot of that scarcity is around money. Alchemizing that into abundance. And I'm alchemizing any self doubt that I'm carrying into unshakable confidence. Hell yes. That's for real. I feel that in my bones. I'm not carrying any self doubt moving forward. I'm owning it all, owning all of it. So I definitely will say that in the last year, it really did surrender in my fertility journey, hence us adopting our son. And there was definitely a part of me that thought, after we adopted him, that I would just magically get pregnant again. But I had to let go of the timeline. I still believe it's going to happen, but I have to let go of the self doubt around it. I have to let go of that. I have to let go of any pain that I'm still carrying from the fertility journey and alchemize it once again into hope, which I did that in 2024. But then I feel like I dropped it a little bit going into 2025. But I'm going to take that pain. It's going to become hope again. I'm going to use it to teach. I'm going to use it for purpose. And I'm going to take these lessons from past relationships that fell away and I'm going to turn that into fuel for my next level self. I already kind of have. I've turned it into fuel for building more soul aligned friendships. There was also some business challenges that I faced and also turning that into fuel for my next level self. I feel called to do that in a big way. And I'm also just taking the heaviness that I've been carrying that's tied to some generational patterns in my family, and I'm transforming them into freedom for myself and my lineage moving forward. That is so freaking exciting, in my opinion, knowing that this won't get carried on. by my children and future generations to come. They'll get freedom. Hallelujah to that. So how does alchemy guide my decisions in the new year? Kind of like how soul aligned guided my decisions last year. I didn't say yes to something unless it was soul aligned. I kind of went by the model of like, if it's not a hell yes and it's a fuck no. I said that a lot. So how is alchemy going to guide my decisions? Well, the word's going to become my filter. So I will ask myself, does this align with my alchemy? Does this support my transformation? If it doesn't, then it's a hell no. Does this help me turn lead into gold? If it doesn't, then it's a hell no. Or does this keep me stuck in the base metal? If it does, then it's a hell no. And if it keeps me focused on growth, creation, and magic, and not staying small or playing safe or settling, then it's a fuck yes. Okay? So you can do that with your word of the year as well. Use it as a filter. That gets to be such a powerful way of making decisions when you use it as a filter. I want to point out how this word also shows up in everyday life. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but alchemy shows up in many different ways in everyday life. Because I really want to make this tangible for you guys. Like, what does it look like to actually live this word in your everyday life? So when it comes to my mindset, I'm catching any negative thoughts that come in, which, if I'm being completely honest, these days, it's not nearly as much as it used to be, but I'm only human. So sometimes there are still some negative thoughts, but any negative thoughts that come up, I am intentionally transmuting them into empowering ones. That's alchemy, you guys. That's gold. In my healing journey, I'm going to take any painful experiences that I come upon and I'm going to ask myself, what is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? That's alchemy. That is really freaking powerful. In my business, when I'm faced with like a business challenge or maybe a setback in my business financially, or maybe a slower season, as these things happen, I'm going to look at it as opportunities instead of a setback. It's opportunities to evolve, to pivot, to realign. It doesn't have to be a challenge or a setback. It's an opportunity to evolve, to pivot maybe, to realign maybe. That's alchemy. In my relationships, what does this look like? Well, I am going to choose to respond with love instead of fear. I'm going to choose to respond with compassion instead of getting defensive. That's hard for a lot of people, but that's alchemy. It's responding with love and compassion instead of fear and defensiveness. You're only going to be met with more defensiveness if you meet somebody with defensiveness. So that's a waste of time. What about with like my creativity, with that inner like feminine child? What does that word look like there? Well, I'm going to take any raw ideas that come to me, any messy drafts that I have, or any like unfinished projects, and I'm going to refine them into something magical and beautiful and golden. That's alchemy. And then lastly, in my energy, like my energy field, my chakras, I'm going to raise my vibration even more through intentional practices, through intentional movement, gratitude, silence, more silence in my life, more affirmations. I'm going to magnetize better opportunities because of doing these practices. That's alchemy. So you can see, like, go through the different areas of your life and how can you make that word of the year more tangible in those areas? Really powerful practice. Journal on it. Because every moment in your life is an opportunity to alchemize. That's what I'm telling myself. Every moment of my life is an opportunity to turn something raw into something golden. And I'm always choosing, whether it be consciously or unconsciously, I'm always choosing what I'm creating with raw materials of my life. So I really encourage you to think about how can you make this word more tangible in your everyday life. So I'm going to give you guys an invite with your word of the year, how to receive it. If you don't have a word of the year yet, do not worry, okay? There's plenty of time. You don't have to have a word right at the start of the year. You don't, okay? You can start your word of the year in February. It doesn't matter. Though if you look back at January, I bet you already see breadcrumbs of what that word is. So just saying. But if you don't have a word yet, let's talk about how to receive it, okay? Get quiet. Give yourself permission to get quiet. Spend a minute meditating, journal, pray, and just ask. Just say, Spirit, Source, Universe, what word do I need to guide me this year? Just put that word in my path so that I don't miss it in the days, weeks to come. Put it in my path. Make it so I hear it a lot. Make it so I see it a lot. Make it so that it stops me in my tracks. It's powerful when you do that. It's so powerful, you guys, because that's literally what happened to me. It's so wild. And then just don't force it, okay? Don't overthink it. Just listen, because The word might come immediately in that moment, but it also might not. It might take a few days. It might take a few weeks. If you're like me and you were like doubting it the first couple times you heard it and you're like, no, that couldn't be it. Just give it some more time. You'll get validation for sure from spirit. But just trust the timing. You'll know when it's the right word. It's like an inner knowing, okay? It will resonate with you. It will feel like truth. And then once you have it, what do? Write it down. Maybe add it to your vision board if you made a vision board. And if you didn't make a vision board, make a vision board. Put it on there. Put it somewhere where you see it daily so you get that daily reminder. And then meditate on it. Journal about it. Ask yourself, what does this word mean to me? How is this word guiding me already? How did I see it guiding me in the previous few days? How do I see it guiding me moving forward in the year? And then literally just let it be your compass. When you're making decisions, ask, does this align with my word? Just trust the guidance. Your word is not random, okay? It's divinely given to you. It knows something that you don't know yet. But by the end of this year, you will know why that word was given to you. That's so exciting, right? I think that's so freaking exciting. Okay, so I want to close things out real quick. My reminder for you is you are always the alchemist of your own life. Come on, you had to know I was going to use that word in the closing. Don't be surprised. You are always the alchemist of your own life. You are the creator. You are turning dullness into gold. You've always had the power to transform, to transmute, to create gold from the raw materials you've been given. And what I'm telling myself is alchemy is my birthright. Yeah, for real. That's my birthright. So just a reminder, some encouragement. 2026 is going to be your year to step fully into your power, to stop waiting for someone else to save you, to fix you, or to validate you. And you're going to just trust that you are the magic. You are the alchemist. Own that power. We're in the year of the horse, you guys. Own that power. It feels like freedom. My challenge for you is receive your word. You knew that was going to be the challenge. Just trust it, let it guide you, and watch what transforms in the year. And what I would absolutely love is if you would DM me your word. I'm going to just like maybe do an episode on them or drop it in my stories or something. Tell me what your word of the year is. Seriously, please share it with me or email it to me, whatever you want to do. I want to know what it is. I'm not kidding. I want to know what your words are. I'm going to like put them into a spreadsheet. So please share them with me. I have some fun ideas of what I want to do with this. You don't have to give me your name. I mean, I'm not going to share your names, but I want to share the words. And then I really encourage you, if you know someone who needs clarity, direction, or maybe a reminder of their own power, send this episode to them. Share it on your stories. And if you want to step deeper into this, I would love it if you would subscribe to my weekly newsletter where we go a lot deeper. You'll get to know me on more of a deeper level. If you want to dig into your own transformation journey, check out my coaching, whether it be one-on-one or a future group project or group program. I would love to work with you if you think I would be a good fit. DM me or email me. I would love to hear from you. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope at the depths of my soul, I hope that this resonated with you all. Even if it only touches one person, I'll take it. But this was such a special message for me to share with you guys. So I hope it resonated with you all. All right, I'll talk to you guys all next week. Have a great week.